Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Monday evening live stream. As always, talking strategies, tech, tools, and mindset to help you create a life and career you love. Before I get into all the things, I want to say if you're joining me on Facebook, I can see if you comment, but I can't see who is commenting. So if you're joining from Facebook, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and you can give the StreamYard permission to see who you are. That way your name will show up here while I'm chatting and I can interact with you. I can see who you are, see what your commenting is. Otherwise, I'll just see user posted random comment, and I'm going to turn off notifications. There we go. Focus assist is what I want. Whoops. There we go. All right. Yes, I think that's what I need. Hopefully, none of my notifications will pop up. Tonight, we're talking about what it is that makes a fulfilling life. And I'm not approaching this from an I have all the answers perspective, because the reason we're talking about this tonight is because I've been wrestling with that question for the last while myself. Like, what is it that makes a fulfilling life? I don't always know. A lot of what I'm approaching this from is things I've read, listened to, hear other people said, hypothesizing, things that I've observed, things that I know from when I have felt fulfilled in life. Try to put this all together, things that I think about what makes a fulfilling life. And I hope this makes some sense to you. I hope some of it resonates. Maybe it'll help you find some answers if you too struggle with finding fulfillment in life. I don't know. Hopefully that's not you. Hopefully you have all those answers. You know exactly what it is that makes your life fulfilling. But kind of where this came from, and this goes back a few years. Within the last 3 years, I've had several events that nearly ended me. And to be honest, I've kind of struggled on and off since those different events. And one of them was a car accident, which I walked away from. I shouldn't have, but miraculously I did. I guess God still had a plan for my wife and I here on earth, and I'm searching for that. And then the other one was pneumonia that nearly took me out. But since those events, I've really struggled with who I am and what I'm doing here. Sometimes, life feels pointless. It's like, why, just if that truck had, a hair's breadth different and he would have crashed through the cab of my truck and killed my wife and I. But thankfully he was alert and missed us. So we're still here. And the pneumonia thing, I laid on the bed and the couch for like 6 weeks, barely able to breathe, and finally pulled through. My wife thought I was going to die, but yet here I am. So those things really, I guess, put some existential questions into who we are, for myself anyway, into who I am, why I'm here, what I'm doing, and if any of it matters. And sometimes it feels like it doesn't matter. Sometimes the things we do in life just seem like they don't have a point. You go to work, you do the work, you get back home to your family, and it doesn't feel like you're making any difference in the world. Sometimes it just doesn't seem like there is any difference. Like nothing you do makes a difference. And that's not a fun place to be. Life, to be blunt, sucks when it reaches that point. And honestly, over the last couple of years, there hasn't been a whole lot of life that I've really enjoyed. I can't look back at the last few years and say, man, I've just loved life. And I think life should be that way. We should be able to look back and have joy or have happiness or peace or find fulfillment in the things that we've done, in the life we've lived, in the relationships that we've formed. In the last couple of years, it really hasn't done that for me. I don't know if, I mean, obviously I'm missing something. Obviously there's something that I need to be doing differently. And that's why I'm doing this episode tonight. What makes a fulfilling life is searching for those answers for myself, and hopefully it'll help you out too. Hopefully some of these things can help you find fulfillment in life. So I don't know if you feel fulfilled in life, or if you know what it takes through observation of other people, if you know what it takes to make a fulfilling life, I'd love it if you go ahead and drop it in the comments wherever you're watching. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, go ahead and comment down below what about life you find fulfilling, or what is it that makes you feel fulfilled in life? What brings you joy? What brings you happiness? How do you go about living and loving life? What is that thing for you? Some of this came from a conversation that I was having with a good friend a few days ago, and we were talking a little bit about fulfillment, and I asked him what fulfillment looks like for him. And let's see. So he said, it depends on what aspects of fulfillment you're talking about. For him, financial fulfillment would be to create residual income and to live comfortably below that. I think that's something that we can all. Then emotional fulfillment would be to have a healthy marriage and enjoy the work I do. Spiritual fulfillment would be to have wholeness of mind and deep connection with God and friends. Those are my theories, he said. And I really like that. The financial fulfillment, to be able to have enough income to where you can live comfortably and have access in order to bless other people with, or to have a little rainy day fund, or to go on vacation if you want. Emotional fulfillment, a healthy marriage. I think that's something that a lot of people want. Some people that are married wish they could have a healthy marriage. And enjoying the work that you do. We're going to talk mostly about that aspect of fulfillment, the enjoying the work that you do. I think that is the biggest aspect of fulfillment in life, because life is work. You know, most of our life, most of the time that we spend living and awake is spent working. Maybe not at a job, maybe not at a 9 to 5, maybe not on your side hustle or something, but most of our waking hours in life are spent working in one form or another. For myself, you know, I've got my day job, which is my own business. I run my own business. So that is my full-time job, running my construction business. Then I also have my coaching business, of which this live stream and my podcast is an aspect of it. So this is considered work for me. Even though I enjoy this, work can be enjoyable. This is work for me. So other things on there would be farm chores. You know, my wife and I have a 20-acre farm here, and it takes a lot of work to keep the farm up. We've got animals that need to be fed. We've got animals that need to be moved, fence that needs to be moved from time to time, chickens that, you know, like to play hide and seek with their eggs, and we have to go find them. And most of the time we don't find them. That's why we're only getting 1 or 2 eggs a day from 20 chickens right now, because we don't know where they're laying, and because the dogs have terrorized them. So we have dogs that need to be trained to not chase and eat chickens. You know, there's always work that needs to be done. Most of our waking hours are spent working. And so I think that is the biggest contributor to fulfillment in life. And then also spiritual fulfillment, he said, wholeness of mind, deep connection with God and friends. And I think those are things that can come along with the work. It's outside of that, but yet along with that, we're going to talk mostly about the work, because I believe that is the biggest contributor to life fulfillment. I found a TikTok video that I want to share with you. I'm going to play the audio, and I hope you can hear this good.
Fulfilled in life right now. Feeling fulfilled in life right now, I want you to think about this. Most people live regressive lives rather than progressive ones. And what this means is they take what other people say at face value. While you must duplicate something before you can then replicate and recreate it, the vast majority of people never get past that initial point. Let that sink in for a second. Did you actually create the beliefs that you have? Or are they simply you adopting someone else's thoughts as your own? Because at the end of the day, the number one key to success is to question everything. What's something you used to believe to be true that you now realize isn't? Let me know in the comments. If you're not feeling...
So what he's saying is, so often when we seek fulfillment, we look to duplicate what other people do that seems fulfilling, rather than going through the process they went through to find their own fulfillment. We look to the actual things that they're doing. So somebody that seems fulfilled, might be a real estate agent. It's like, oh, cool, I should do real estate because they seem like they love it. So it must be an awesome thing. Maybe that's where I'll find fulfillment. It's like, okay, go be a real estate agent. Oh no, I hate that. I hate trying to sell houses, and things are out of people's price range, and they get mad because they can't afford that house, and that house seems like it's bigger and better and it's cheaper, and they don't want it because it's in that location, and whatever all the things are. We can't duplicate what brings other people fulfillment, but we can replicate it through figuring out the process that they went through and finding fulfillment in that manner. I think I have another one here. Let's see.
Kanye reveals how to live a fulfilling life.
Kids express themselves and they just want to cry.
Nope, that's not the video. Sorry, I didn't want to spam you with Kanye West stuff or Yeezy or whatever he is now. So I'm going to end that. So what is it that brings fulfillment? Like, work as the biggest part of our life. There's several different aspects of work that we can look at. And I have a little infographic here, and I think I may have shared this a couple of weeks ago on a live stream I did, maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but it's the concept. I think it's a Japanese concept called Ikigai. It's basically all the concentric circles that overlap, and maybe I'm using the wrong words, I don't know. But these circles overlap, and you want to try to find your spot where these circles overlap. So I'm going to share with you. This is a concept of Ikigai. So the different aspects of work and finding fulfillment in work. One of the things that we need to look for in life is work that you love doing. And, it's easy to find elements of work that you love doing. It's easy to find work that you love some of, or that you love some of the time, but it can be super hard to find work that you really enjoy. And sometimes, you might enjoy one element or one aspect of it. For instance, I'm in construction. I run my own construction business, and I don't love it most of the time because I'm out there doing all of the work. I'm doing everything from laying the floor to setting a tile backsplash, to interior trim, to building the decks, to repairing a roof, to all the different things. The time of my life that I loved construction was when I actually worked for another general contractor as a residential supervisor. And I loved it because I was able to use my skills in time management, in scheduling things out, in organization, in making so the work was done to perfection. I was able to do those things in a way that fit my skills, my talents, my gifts that God gave me. And that's another thing that I want to talk about that we need to, that is an element of finding fulfillment, is doing things that you're good at. So where was I going with that? Don't you hate that when you're like you have this perfect thing that you're gonna segue right into, and it just goes whoop, slips your mind. But anyway, we need to be able to do work that we're good at. There's a parable in the Bible called the parable of the talents, and it's super interesting that the money back in those days was called talents, because nowadays, our money is dollars or yen or pounds or whatever. But I really like this parable of talents, because my favorite way to use that is in talking about the talents, the gifts, the skills that God gave us. I believe that we are given those things in order to make a difference for other people. So in the parable of the talents, this landlord was going to go on a long trip. He was going overseas or something. I don't know. It doesn't say. But he called together his three most trusted men and said, look, I'm going to be gone for a long time. I want to entrust this money to y'all and invest it. Okay? Y'all are the caretakers of my money while I'm gone. Here you go. Here are the talents. To one guy, I'm going to translate it to dollars. One guy, let's say he gave $10,000. Okay? To the second one, he gave 5,000, and to the third one, he gave 1,000. The landlord was gone for a long time. He comes home, calls his trusted man together, and says, all right, give an account for what you did with my money. Show me what you did. The first guy that he gave 10,000 to came back and said, look, I know that you are a shrewd investor. You harvest where you didn't sow. You are very wise with your money. So I copied what you would do. I used those talents and I invested your money, and I made another $10,000 with the 10,000 you gave me. So here's $20,000. The guy's like, good job. You learned well. You used the talents I gave you for good. Way to go. Second guy comes up. I took the 5,000 you gave me. I invested it wisely, just the way I observed you investing it. I put it to good use. Here is a second $5,000 for $10,000 total. Here you go. Guy says, well done. You did very, very well. Good job. The third guy that only got the $1,000, he said, look, I was afraid because I know that you're shrewd with your money and I didn't want to lose it. So I just went and hid it in the ground until you came back. Then I went and dug it up, and here you go. Here's the 1,000. I didn't use the talents that you gave me. Excuse me. What I take from that parable is that we are meant to fully utilize the talents, the gifts, the abilities, the likes, the interests, our personality, every single thing that God gave us. We're meant to fully and 100% utilize that for good, to make a difference. So if you're watching here on screen, we're talking about what you're good at and how to utilize that. Go to the right-hand side of the screen where it says what the world needs. That's where you apply yourself with what you're good at and what you love. We're meant to utilize those things to make a difference for other people. We're meant to utilize everything that God gave us to make a difference for somebody else, to impact the world. And I want to tell a couple stories there. It's really interesting. I've worked for a lot of different people. And if you have worked for different clients, or even if you have a boss and you've worked for their different clients, you know the different types of people there are out there that you can work for. And I'm thinking of two kinds of clients in particular. I've had people that will look over my shoulder while I'm working, trying to point out the imperfections in what I'm doing, trying to help me realize that my work is unfinished and it's not right. Even though I know that, I'm still in the process of it. Those people they're watching you in order to nitpick what you're doing. And it doesn't feel like in that case that you're making a difference for them. It doesn't feel like what you're doing for them fits into what the world needs. Even though they're paying you to do it, even though all of that, those people are not fun to work for. They are not, it's not fulfilling to utilize what you're good at to work for them. But then you've got the other kind of people who, when they watch over your shoulder, when they're seeing what you're doing, when they stand there looking at your work, they're in awe of seeing a craftsman. They're like, they love watching when somebody utilizes what they're good at and fulfills a need in the world. They're fun to work for. It's fulfilling to work for them because they know that what you're doing is valuable. They know that what you're doing makes a difference, and it helps you to know that what you're doing makes a difference and is valuable too. It gives you a fulfilling feeling. So that's kind of where that what the world need ties into that. And then the last element is the what you can be paid for. So if you can combine the what you love, the what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for, and you can do work that falls into that area, into that center where all four circles overlap, I believe that is where fulfillment comes in at. That is what gives you the fulfilling feeling in life. That's what fills your purpose. I think fulfillment and purpose, while maybe not quite the same thing, they do go hand in hand. Purpose is the mission that you're on in life. Purpose is the thing that you've been given to do. It's fully utilizing your gifts, your talents, your skills, your abilities, the things you love, your personality, and making a difference for other people. Fulfillment is what happens when you're working in your area of purpose. That's what I've found. That's what I believe. There's been times when I absolutely have not felt fulfilled. I've not been in love with life. There's been times when I absolutely did feel fulfilled in what I was doing, in the work that I was doing, in the work that I was doing outside of work, in the kids ministry that we were involved in. Everything in life, there's been times when I've 100% been in that fulfillment mode or been fulfilled in life. And lately it has not been that for me. It's kind of been more of a, what is the point of life? You know, I feel like I should be reading Ecclesiastes because everything is vanity. There's no point to life. I've felt that vividly from time to time, and it's not a fun place to be. It's not a fun thing to deal with. And when you're stuck there, it can be hard to get out of. You don't want to get out of bed in the morning. You don't want to go to work and do the work you got to do because you don't feel like it's making a difference for anybody. You don't want to talk to anybody because what's the point? You know, like, just want to sit here and watch movies, even though, you know, that's no fun either, because what's the point of that? Well, I don't know, just to pass the time. We go through times like that, and it's because we don't have all four of these aspects here. I believe that work in life is what brings us the most amount of fulfillment. And it's when we can take what we love doing, combined with what we're good at, what the world needs, and what we can be paid for, that gives us the greatest amount of fulfillment in life over anything, over, I don't know, any other area in life. Now, I've never had kids, so I don't know, maybe having kids, raising kids, and seeing them enjoy life is a bigger thing of fulfillment for them. Red Flower Media said, the last 3 years of upheaval of the world really affected my joy in life. I'm working to change that and make progress. So thanks. I appreciate that. The last 3 years have been tough for a lot of people, a lot of us. And I think for myself, it's been more personal crises the last several years than it has been the upheaval of the world. I don't know, call me sheltered, call me, I'm not sure. Maybe the life my wife and I have created sheltered us enough from the upheaval of the world that hasn't really affected me. But it's been more some personal things, some health issues, a car accident that's brought my own lack of fulfillment on, because I find myself asking the question a lot, what is the point of life? And trying to make a point to life is not that easy sometimes. So I don't know. This live stream is a lot more question and hypothesis than it is actual, this is what you need to do. I believe this is where it's at, and I'm still struggling to find that exact spot for me. I hope you're able to find that. I hope whoever is listening, watching, that you already know what fulfillment in life is. I hope that for you. I'm working on getting there. I think I'm on the right path, but it's a continual, day by day, over and over again, finding that spot, finding the work that we love doing, making a difference, not only for yourself, but for other people. Because no matter who I've observed in life, be it millionaires, be it people in the slum, the ones that seem the happiest, the ones that would say they're most fulfilled, are the ones that are working in their area of expertise, difference in the lives of other people. They're helping others with what they love and what they're good at. Yes, sometimes the questions here, sometimes asking the questions is what we need to spark that internal conversation that leads us to change. Exactly. And I ask a lot of questions. Dad told me when I was a kid, he said, if you want to know something, all you got to do is ask a question. And then it was not long later, he was like, why do you ask so many questions? I'm like, well, because I want to know things. And so I ask questions, and sometimes I find answers and sometimes I don't. That's all I've got to share tonight. It's kind of funny. I was not able to prepare as much as I wanted to prepare tonight. I got home late, so I had about 2 hours to drive on the way home before I got into this. And I recorded an episode on this to try to help me mentally prepare for what I wanted to go through. And I ended up with about 45 minutes on that, but I wasn't as well put together. So I think we're going to end. We're just under 30 minutes tonight. I hope that some of the questions I've posed or some of the things that I've said here will help you as you navigate the upheaval, as you try to find your area of expertise, the things that you love doing that make a difference for other people. I hope that you find that fulfilling life. That's what I want for all of us. And I believe that that's what we're meant for, that's what God created us for, is to use everything he's given us to make a difference for other people. And that is what brings fulfillment. That's my hypothesis. That's what I'm shooting for. Y'all have a great night.